You know, I freaking hate doing these dishes. I swear, she better go take that car to wash. That's all I'm saying. Dang, these flowers are nice. Hopefully she stops bothering me about the curtains already.
Okay, yeah. So for 2, 7:30 tomorrow. Perfect, thanks.
Okay, that's it. If I don't hit a home run tonight, I'm done. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
It's no secret today that 50% of marriages end in divorce. So it's no wonder why young people are completely staying away from marriage. The reason why I became a relationship coach is because when I got married with Sayudi, I realized just how unprepared I was for marriage. Even though I had read books, even though I had gone to a premarital retreat, I still found myself feeling so unprepared. And it really frustrated me because, think about this, growing up, you learn about history, you learn about math, you learn about science. All that stuff you're probably not using in your daily life today. But when it comes to relationship, that thing that just about all of us want to be in, at least one day, we're basically left to trial and error. And even worse, when we do get into a relationship, sometimes we're even told to do things that have been shown to not work. So starting today, for the next week, I want to debunk 7 myths about relationships so that you can avoid these pitfalls. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm really excited to debunk this first myth. But before I do me a favor and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button so we can get this video out to many, many couples. So let's get into it. Now, in 1968, a book called The Mirages of Marriage was published. And what the authors were trying to do was show what's dysfunctional inside of a marriage. And one of their key claims was that in a good marriage, in a good relationship, there was this sense of reciprocity between the two partners, that where you scratch my back and I'll scratch your back. This is also known as a quid pro quo. And what's crazy is that this book was very influential within the therapist community. And what's even crazier is that in 1977, this idea was shown to be false. In fact, the sign of an unhealthy marriage, the sign of an unhealthy relationship, is quid pro quo. And it gets even crazier because even after it was shown to be disproved, therapists continue to use this idea with their couples. I just want you to think of that real quick. Imagine you came to me asking, how can I get healthy? And I started giving you advice after advice. But everything that I was telling you was actually associated with people who were overweight, had diabetes, or had other types of sicknesses. And then after it was disproven what I was saying, I still continue to give you that same advice. What would you think of me if I did that? Well, that's what was going on back in the 70s. So the truth is that if you find yourself in a relationship where you're constantly thinking, well, if I did this, why didn't they do that? That's probably a sign that your relationship or your marriage is heading downhill. The truth is that happy couples, they behave positively, unconditionally. So when they do the dishes, when they buy each other flowers, when they make reservations while vacuuming, they're not doing this to get something in return. They're doing this because they love each other and because they're a unit. So a quick disclaimer. I want you to know that if you're in a relationship where there is this quid pro quo, acting positively out of nowhere is not the answer. And let me explain. It's because when you're in an unhappy relationship, negative behavior is seen as permanent and positive behavior is seen as temporary. Let me explain. If you're in an unhappy relationship and your partner does something that rubs you the wrong way, what you're gonna say internally to yourself is, oh, he did that because he's selfish, because he's just a bad person, because he's a jerk. And if your partner does something positive, you're gonna say, well, he's probably just having a good day at work today, so that's why he's in a good mood. This isn't gonna last. So you see how that works? Automatically, once you're in an unhappy relationship, the perception begins to get twisted up. Whereas when you're in a happy relationship, when your partner does something that rubs you the wrong way, you tend to give them the benefit of the doubt. You tend to say, well, they probably just had a bad day at work. And when they do something positive, you say, internally, you say, well, they did that because they're a considerate human being and they just love me so much and he is awesome. You see how that works? So if you're in this quid pro quo situation, you don't just want to start acting positively out of nowhere. So what can you do if you find yourself in this quid pro quo situation? Well, the first thing you want to do is be self-aware. Acknowledge to yourself that you're doing this. When you're doing the dishes and you're saying to yourself internally, well, since I'm doing the dishes, he better do this. Notice that you're doing it. That's the first step to anything, is being self-aware and admitting to yourself, wait, I'm in this quid pro quo situation. I'm expecting him to do something in return for me doing this. This is not part of a healthy relationship. I need to fix this. So step one, be self-aware. Okay, now step two is to shift your focus from expectation to appreciation. Listen, the truth is that you cannot be grateful and angry at the same time. You have to choose one or the other. I remember back when I was first dating Sayuri, I had a conference to go to over in Minnesota. And one day, Sayuri came to my house the day before I was leaving. Out of nowhere, she didn't tell me she was coming, and in her hand was a bunch of amazing clothing. A bunch of dress shirts, some sweaters because she knew that it was gonna be cold, some new pants for me. I mean, she just went all out. Now, here's the question. When she did this, was she expecting something in return? Or was she just doing it because she loved me? No, she was doing it because she loved me. She wasn't expecting anything else in return. She wasn't expecting me to now take her to the mall and buy her an expensive watch or some expensive jewelry. So I want you to remember this. If you can list out 5 things that you're grateful for your partner for every one bad thing that you see in them, I promise you, your relationship is gonna turn around like this. Okay, and step 3 is to address the real problem. Here's the truth. You have to ask yourself why you're feeling this way. Why do you feel like your partner has to do something just because you did something? Here's the truth. Maybe your partner hasn't been showing you appreciation lately. That is possible. And if it's true, you need to have that conversation. You need to sit down with your partner and say, hey, I know that you're probably really stressed out with work. I know that you have a million things going on, but I just want you to know that it really means a lot to me when you say thank you or when you tell me that you appreciate me, even if it's for something really little. It means the world to me when you say that. And so moving forward, do you think that you could be able to do that a little bit more often? I guarantee you, if you come at your partner in that loving way, you will see a change. So guys, I really hope that you like this video. Again, do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button and like this video so that we can get this video out to as many couples as possible. And come back tomorrow for my next video where I'm gonna be breaking down one of the myths that I've heard this myth throughout my entire life, and it actually doesn't work. It's crazy that this is still something that people recommend that you do in your relationship. It's crazy that it's still around. We have to stop doing it because it just absolutely doesn't work. I'm gonna be talking about that tomorrow, so make sure to come back. Bye-bye.